All right. Hey there, everyone. We are back in Vegas and we are doing part three of turning UPIX, which is the game currency for Upland, into USD and making that conversion. So in Vegas, we've got just this little area over here. I actually purchased about 3 or 4 properties. And let me pull up which one sold because one of them had just sold. Let's see here. All right, let me get into the messages. Got the spinning wheel of death here.
Well, while that's spinning, we're taking a look at SC Kicker's sales here because I have been participating in the Sparklet Wars in Upland, and so therefore I have not been selling my properties in Vegas. Uh, but you're not participating in the wars, SC Kicker, is that right?
I'm not. Yeah, I just didn't have time, and I found a couple
So,
properties that I wanted to buy and picked them up.
well, and that's so if you're not participating in the wars, maybe it's a good opportunity to flip some UpX into USD, which is what kind of happened here, we think. So.
That's
What kind
kind
of
of
property did you sell?
so. This one was over on Atlantic Street in Vegas, and I had picked up 3 properties. Actually, I had saw 3 properties. They were by the same owner, and they were priced a little bit high. And I reached out to the player and was able to negotiate a little bit better deal, and I picked up all 3. So I kind of worked a deal there, with the goal of selling these and converting them into USD. So it looks like one of them sold for $6, 5.99 at 1316 Atlantic Street. And then I sold a couple more 2, 3 weeks ago as well in Vegas. So let's take a look at this 1316 Atlantic, and I can't remember what I bought it for. So let's actually we can go in and we can actually see. So if you go into UPX Land, we'll go into Vegas here, and this is the property is 1316 Atlantic Street. And we can actually get like a detailed view of this. So we'll go into transactions, and this is show, kind of what's happened with this property. So it was originally minted for 13,000 UPIX, and I believe these were up for sale for around 23. And I ended up picking up 3 of them at 18,000 each. And then I had sold them for 5.99. So that's from where I purchased it. It's a 33% markup on that. If you look at what the mint price was, the original mint price at 13,000, you're sitting at more of a little bit higher, so about 45% mint. I think currently in Vegas, I'm not positive, but I think the floor price is around 20%, 22% maybe. Do you know off the top
It's
of your
right
head,
at
Kale?
third than the Las Vegas floor, which was a good move.
Nice. And then so actually this UPX Land, I didn't realize there were all these features over here. You can actually look at some of the detailed information, and you can see back 1,000 different visits of send fees. So these are like the send fees of what the property is earning when people visit. So it has a real nice track record of what this property has earned in sends as well. So it's pretty cool. I didn't actually realize this was in here until today when we pulled this up.
Yeah, and another good point with that is, okay, you negotiated, um, you were able to get the price down on 3 properties, um, because you reached out to the player and said, "Hey, I'd like to purchase all 3, but if I purchase all 3, will you give me can we drop the price a little bit?" I've actually done that a few times, playing Upland, and it's worked out well. Most people are willing to work with you a little bit, especially if you're going to be buying multiple properties. So I think that was a good negotiating tactic there.
So this one right here, this is actually the property that I did buy and sell. This is the 1316 Atlantic. So I was looking around at the properties here. So with the Spark Wars going on, you can see there's a group of properties here with the rings around them. So those are people that are participating. And let's see who some of the players are. So we've got, oh, Boulder Magic. Okay, so Boulder's got this property, so he's in the wars. And then let me see who this one is. Across from him. Okay, so that's Bets. So was Bet strategy for Spark Wars to pick up the properties kind of close so nobody could come in there and purchase an attack. So that was a smart tactic, kind of a defensive tactic to own this property here so that they don't get attacked. So let's see who owns these around them. Okay, I don't know that person. And doesn't look like they're in the war. And who's this
Def-
one?
Definitely sounds like that was the strategy to kind of own up,
Boulder
own
Magic.
the own the block and protect their fortress there.
Yep, it looks exactly like that's what they did. So because that was a property that someone needed for the wars, that helped out my sale, to get a little bit higher percentage, almost double really where the floor was. So, another good strategy. And it goes to show like the way the economy works, different people are doing different things in game. So, this particular player bets, who I think is a pretty big player, actually. I've heard that name before. I know um, that person bought that property for the specific use of the Spark Wars. On my end, from my side, I was actually picking up some properties to flip, and it worked out on my end. So the economy kind of drove itself there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the more involved you are in Upland, the better you're gonna do as you know what's going on. Sometimes there's racing that's really hot, and there's some, you know, cars and things that you can flip, legits. And so with the wars moving city to city right now, you're gonna be able to get some nice flipping opportunities um, if you're knowing where those wars are going to be, and you can start to prepare your strategy going into it, or participate in the games and the activities. It's a lot of fun. So none of this is financial advice, just our opinions and our way of playing the game. So
Yeah, and these are some of the other properties I bought with it. So if you look at the sizes, the one that I did sell was a property size 60. So that one has a payout of like 160. And then if you look at, let's see, this one here over on Clifford was another one that I picked up in that same deal. And that one's a property size 60. Okay, so those are about the same. But then some of the ones over here around that same price point that I purchased them for, these are bigger. These are sitting at an 83. So this is a property that I could potentially maybe build a bigger structure if I wanted to build something, or I can sell it for a little bit more, USD because it's a little bit bigger property. So the earning on this one, is up around 221. So it's a little bit higher than the other one. So even though, like those smaller properties were a little bit higher price, this actually brings my average down a little bit because these were bigger properties. So very cool.
nice.
Well, that's, the part three of, flipping properties and turning game currency into USD. So if there's anybody out there that's saying you can't sell the properties, there's definitely a lot of people. If you want to put the work in, you can sell the properties. Do it right, negotiate a little bit, and then there's always people looking for different deals on properties, whether it's cash or UPIX. And it's Spark Wars going on. This was a great opportunity we took advantage of, and I was able to drop a couple properties. I know. KO, you were in the Spark Wars, so you were kind of working the reverse scheme. You were trying to pick up properties a little bit cheaper and protecting maybe areas that you were in for the battles.
Yeah, I was glad for the series that you were doing well on the USD side, because none of my stuff was selling, mainly because I'm active in the wars. So yeah, I was looking for good deals. I did find some. I spent mostly UPIX, um, and however the prices quickly went up. Things got gobbled up pretty fast, um, with people needing structures and properties in Vegas right now. So
Yeah, well, that worked out kind of good. I know the timing was kind of interesting with Spark War starting for you, so you weren't really selling a lot as we started the series, and It just kind of worked out. I was on the opposite side of the spectrum, not even thinking about it, and it just worked out. So I hope that helps somebody. If this information is helping you and you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. We always appreciate the follows and share with a buddy, a friend, and hopefully we can help some other players as they're learning too. So until the next one, we'll see you guys later.
Later.